Okay, so you can start by either tracing out or just going ahead and cutting out a spiral out of a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. The less the perfect, the better. So this little end here, I take it and I kind of run my nail over it to soften it and condition the paper a little bit. It just makes it easier to roll. And then I just sort of pinch it a little bit and not really flatten it, just enough to get it started, and then just start rolling it. And I try to keep my underline edges together, not so much the top edges, the bottom ones. That way it sits flat. It just makes it prettier to me. You don't have to. Any way you want to is fine. And then just put a little bit of glue on its little foot there, and on a little bit in the spirals. And then you can sort of let it go a little bit so it unravels a little. You don't have to. Sometimes there's no control over it. It just happens naturally. You can wipe away the glue, but it'll dry clear. Doesn't matter. You can use any glue you'd like. I just happen to like the fast grab. It grabs fast, and I don't have to worry about the dry time on it. Now this other piece, don't throw it away. You can still make a nice little rose out of that piece that you've trimmed off. I cut a little edge there and shrink it down some more. Just makes a shorter flower instead of a real tall one. You don't have to do this part. You can completely skip it. I like to use them on teacher gifts and projects, so I try to keep them a little bit shorter. And then same as before, just condition the paper. And, this won't have that little foot to glue down onto, so that little piece of paper, just keep that close. Because if you let go, it'll unravel and unswirl. Some glue all over me. And then you just sort of roll it up again. And then when you get to the end, you can use the little tail piece to glue it down, keep it all together. And the tighter your roll is, the more of a rosebud look it has. And if you let it go a little bit, it has that more open flower. But it's personal preference, whatever you'd like to do. And just put a little bit of glue on your extra piece there and just smush it all down. So you've made that little foot for your little rose to sit down on, just like I did with these. Same thing. Try not to waste a ton of paper. It's hard to come by sometimes out here. And then when you're ready to use it, you just cut it off. And then it is all ready to go as is. Or you can add some stickles to it. Any kind of glitter would work. Doesn't matter. You can even add glossy accents to it. Just gives it a little bit more dimension. If you want to go that route, you certainly do not have to. If you don't have stickles, you can use just regular glue bottles, glitter glue. It doesn't matter. I have all sorts from all different places. Years of collecting. And this one happens to be my favorite. And again, you don't have to do this. You can start it and you can put it just a little bit in the middle and be done. I like to put it in there and just sort of swirl it around. Just a little different. And then the glossy accents you can use. It gives it sort of a raindrop or dew look on it. Like it's been rained on, or in the morning. It looks really, really pretty when it's all dry. Of course, when it's coming out right now, it looks rather milky and cloudy, but it'll dry completely clear, and it looks like little raindrops. It's really a neat effect. And then this one, it doesn't matter if you have some paper that you like and it happens to be printed on or stamped on or kids colored on, doesn't matter. Cut it up. It'll make a prettier rose than you think. This one just happened to be a hot air balloon, but I like the paper. And then you just cut it into a swirl. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You could draw a swirl on it, a spiral. I just cut them. And then I cut that little edge off. And now I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so it's not so tall. Again, you don't have to do this part. I just do it this way because sometimes I can get more than just one rose, one flower out of my paper that I happen to like. Now this, it has extra stamped on images on the back, and I was like, yeah, let's add some color to the outer edge that you may not be able to do with others or don't want to do with others. Just an added extra bit of dimension to it. And put some blue on it here. Doesn't matter, whatever color you've got. Black, green, metallic, anything. This paper's kind of thin, so it makes it just a little bit longer, a little bit more tedious to work with, but that's okay. The end result is completely worth it. You just go along the outer edges. You could do multicolor. You could do blue and pink, blue and red, blue and green, whatever. I'm not going for fancy. Just going for a very pretty rose. And see, it doesn't matter if you get marker on the back. You're not going to notice. It's not going to make a difference. Don't worry about it. Don't scrap it. Make it. And then I'm going to condition it. Again, soften it up. And then just roll the flower. Roll it into itself. Starting from the inside out will not work. It will not give you a nice full rose. Just don't do it. I've tried it. It's not the same. And sometimes your little foot there will be bigger, and that's okay. It'll just have extra room. And then just a little bit in that spiral, and then I let it go a little bit after it has the glue on. Kind of smears around itself. And then there you go. So it's all rolled up, and it's got that blue edging to it. It's really pretty. You ought to give that one a try. And then this one is some textured cardstock I ran through an embossing folder on my Big Shot. And it was just leftovers, and I was like, well, I need to do something with it. So make a gray flower. You've never seen a gray rose? We'll try it. But this one, I'm kind of doing a thick cut and then a thin cut and then a thick cut and then a little bit thinner. Just kind of going around. That gives it a more petaled look. And it's not perfect. It's almost a little oval. And that's fine. It will actually make a very pretty rose. And this one I decided I'll just outline it in black. Maybe for a winter type rose. I don't know. We haven't seen winter in a while. We don't have winter here. We have summer, and we have the rainy season. Nothing much in between. But same as before, just go all the way around it. And this one, I didn't like it so much, so I cut off a little bit. I don't like a real thick edge to work with. I like it a little bit thinner. And same as before, just condition it. And roll it up. And that one's got a great big foot to sit on, but that's okay. You can either trim it down later on or you can leave it. Put some little leaves in it, make it a real full bouquet. Just glue it all in, let it go a little bit, and then it's good to go. The outlines are really pretty. And here I'm going to show you how to make the leaves that I do. In this cardstock, I'm realizing that it's a little too thick, but I'm going to do it anyway. You can use anything you like. I have done black leaves for Halloween with a little bit of silver or white sponging on it with an ink pad. It looks really pretty. It's very neat. But this, you just sort of cut into it like you were going to make a heart shape, but not really a heart shape. More of a flat bottom. Then you take it and you just kind of squish it in between your fingers and shape it. Give it a little bit of shape. And it's actually very sturdy and very strong. And you just glue it underneath your flower. You can add as many leaves as you like. 1, 4. Doesn't matter. You don't have to add the leaves, but you can put anything into these. Like I said, the glitter, glossy accents, little pearls, little gemstones, whatever you have that would work. And they're all just as pretty and handmade, and everyone likes that. So give it a try, and good luck.